Turi 2 TV, das Branchenfernsehen. Powered by 7load, die Zukunft des Fernsehens.
What would Google do? The new book from Jeff Jarvis, a famous US blogger and media expert. Jeff, what should German publishers do in times of Google?
They have to understand that the world has changed in fundamental ways. I think we're going through much more than a financial crisis right now, and small changes in media. The basic structure of media has changed. And the reason that I ask what would Google do is because I just want to try to analyze how they've succeeded in this new world and how do they understand the world, and so what is their Weltanschauung. And in that, I think we start to see things like the impact of links, the idea that we're in a content economy before, now we're in a link economy, where in the content economy you needed many copies of things. In the link economy you need one. In this broadly distributed world, you want to get your content out there in as many places as possible. The idea of forcing everyone to come to you is an old media way to think. Google is everywhere. On my blog I have Google Ads, Google Maps, Google Videos, and Google also even pays me for that. So that's the biggest lesson from Google, I think, is how can you be a platform and a network and enable others to succeed and you succeed with them without, by the way, as much cost and risk and difficulty. So you look at a company like Glam that Berta invested in as a network for content that's grown to 110 million users just by enabling other sites to succeed. That's thinking like Google.
Other publishers in the USA and in Germany, are they prepared to the new times?
Leider, no. We've really had 15 years since the commercial browser came out to get ready for this. But what's really happened, and it's understandable, is that instead companies have tried to protect their past. And that's not a strategy for the future. In the US right now, the financial crisis means that some publishers are going to go out of business. Some newspapers will die. We'll have cities, I think, this year that will end up with an online newspaper instead. And I think that's probably good because people have to experiment with these things and show us new ways to do things. And we have to learn those lessons together. So coming to Germany is very useful for me because we're always so American-centric and think that everything's happening there, but there's all kinds of other things happening here. For example, Der Westen from Watz is doing all kinds of innovative things, and I can learn from that, and we need to share those lessons.
Will the publishing industry vanish in the USA, in Germany?
No, it won't vanish. Print will become less and less profitable because it's so expensive. Now, right now, the problem for news organizations is that, of course, print is the more profitable thing because the advertisers still buy that. But the audiences, by and large, are much bigger online. So the people have gone there, the advertisers must follow. When they do, of course, we're moving from another change, a scarcity economy to an abundance economy. In the scarcity economy, we own the scarce resource, the press, and we can set the price. Online, there's always someplace else to put the ad, and so rates are going to be lower. But if you think like Google, you still grow big by building a network, and it doesn't become quite the issue. Are you going to disappear? No. Some will go out of business because they're not prepared. The cost structure of printing that used to be our big advantage is now a huge burden. Newcomers will come in and will compete much more lightweight and nimble than the big old companies. And we're going to see a shakeout, as we say, that's going to change the landscape. And now it's going to happen even faster because of the financial crisis.
Will the publishers play a good role, a big role in the internet?
Yes, they already are. I mean, you look at Burda and Holzbrink and Die Zeit and Focus and Spiegel, they all have very big sites, very successful sites. I've never understood, I have this debate every time I'm in Germany, why blogs haven't taken off quite so huge here as they have in the US and to some extent the UK. And I'm not sure the answer. I'd be curious to hear your theory on that. But that's a bit of a challenge to be able to build these new networks, I think. But I believe it'll happen, that you'll find more collaboration. So rather than saying, here's the big media company that owns everything, it's going to be more cooperative in working with the big media company, finding new ways to support these small, upstart, independent companies coming together. And I think that's the key to finding a role in this new world, is how you become a platform, how you enable something bigger to grow.
So the big media industry has to change the big media business to a network business?
I think so. I think that's one model. It's not the only solution, and we haven't done enough with it yet to really know whether it's going to work. But to me, it's fairly obvious that the lesson from Google is that, well, look at it this way. Yahoo was the last old media company. Yahoo controls its content, it advertises to bring people in, and then it shows ads at your eyeball until you go away. Google says, come here, don't come here, macht's nix, right? You can find Google anywhere on the web. And I think that is a great model for us. Now, when you do find Google everywhere on the web, you then have to ask, what's the business relationship you have with those places? And in Google's case, it says, we're going to help you make money. We're going to share what we do to motivate you to carry us. And I think that that's a model for us in the future. So you can look at Yahoo also didn't ask the right question. The companies need to ask themselves, where is my value really? What am I really? Yahoo thought that it was an entertainment company. It hired a movie studio head to run it. Didn't work. Yahoo, in truth, could have been Google because it was doing the advertising model that Google has before Google did. If it had realized that it was an advertising company, maybe there wouldn't be a Google today, but there is.
Jeff Jarvis, please, the last sentence in German. You speak a little German. Last sentence for German publishers from Jeff Jarvis.
Die Verleger muss fragen, was würde Google tun? Ja, ist das richtig?
Turi 2 TV, das Branchenfernsehen.